Okay, let's get back to the Gemara. Okay, we left off on Samach Tesem and Beis. The Gemara had said that when they had come up from Bavel, Gemara quotes a pasuk that the Kohanim, there were Kohanim who came from Bavel who could not prove their pedigree, that they were legitimate Kohanim. They may have been Chalolim. So the Chemi had said that whatever way they conducted themselves in Bavel, we allow them to continue in Eretz Yisrael. So in Bavel, being close to Eretz Yisrael, they ate Truma. They did eat Truma. But the Truma in Bavel is only rabbinic Truma. It's rabbinic Truma. So they allowed them to continue. So we had two versions. One version was that the only type of Truma, even though in Bavel there's only rabbinic Truma, when they came to Eretz Yisrael, they allowed them to eat Truma, which is Truma Doraisa. Somewhere asked the question, but there's an opinion that says Maskinim with Truma Liyuchsin, that if a person eats Truma Doraisa, we elevate him to what? To a credible status, even for Avoda. So that becomes a problem. Smor says no, because since we did not allow them to eat Kochim, we don't give them legitimate status regarding marriage. That was the first. The second answer is no. What did we allow them to continue eating? Truma D'Rabbanan. In Bavel they ate Truma D'Rabbanan. We allow them to continue eating Truma D'Rabbanan. Truma D'Oraisa not, because, and that's Gdola Chazaka. Greatest Chazaka, because since there's a presumed status, they were Kohanim in Bavel, regarding that limited status, we allow them to continue. So the Gemara says, what's the Chiddush? Rabbi Yosef says, Gdola Chazaka. Greatest Chazaka. Okay? So the Gemara says, because you would think we should make a Gzeiro, that if you allow them to eat Truma D'Rabbanan, they ultimately they're going to come to eat Truma D'Oraisa. So therefore, we should not allow them to continue eating even Truma D'Rabbanan. Dola Chazaka, Chazaka is the overriding factor that we allow them to continue eating Truma D'Rabbanan. That's where we left off on Friday. So when I ask a question, I Voksiv 2, 4, 6 line, the end of the 6th line from the bottom. Voksiv Vayomer hatashata lohem. Nehemiah had said to them, to these Kohanim, Ashlo yochlu mikoche hakodoshim. According to the second version of the Gemara, what did we allow them to continue eating? Only Truma D'Rabbanan. Truma D'Oraisa, because in Bavel they didn't eat Truma D'Oraisa. So even if you have a Chazaka is only regarding what you've done previously. Okay, so if that's the case, but it says, Nehemiah had said to them, what could they not eat? Mikodesh HaKadoshim. So what is the connotation, Kodesh HaKadoshim? That's sacrificial meat. So anything which is less than sacrificial meat, Truma, they were permitted to eat. But Kodesh HaKadoshim, Hud lo yochal, Hakol midi nechol. But anything less than Kodesh HaKadoshim, they were permitted to eat. So how could we say that we only allow them to continue eating Truma D'Rabbanan? It seems from this pasuk, we allow them to eat even Truma D'Oraisa. That's the first question. Ernie, with me? Chemi wasn't a Navi. Chemi was a Navi. And Chag is a Chari Navi. That wasn't their value. It wasn't their value. On that, the Gemara answers. When he said, Nehemiah said, you cannot eat the Kodesh HaKadoshim, it's not read to Kodesh HaKadoshim. Hochikoma, lo midi d'mikri Kodesh, lo midi d'mikri Kodoshim. You cannot eat from Kodesh, Kama Kodoshim. What's called Kodesh and what's called Kodoshim. Lo midi d'mikri Kodesh, the Chsiv, what's referred to in Torah as Kodesh? Chozor leyochol Kodesh. A zor is not prohibited code. What is that pasuk speaking about? That's Truma. Truma is called Kodesh. Lo midi d'mikri Kodoshim, the Omakro. Now this is interesting. Most people don't know this halacha. What's the halacha? A woman who's a Bas Kohen, and she's single. She's permitted to eat what? Truma and what else? Chaz v'shok. Right? There's a certain portion from Kochim Kalim, from the consecrated korban, which is the lesser level of consecration, which the women of the Kohen were permitted to eat, like a shlomim. The Kohen receives chaz v'shok, the thigh and the breast of the of the animal. The Kohen eats it, his daughters eat it, his wife eats it. Kochi Kadoshim, let's say Chatos Osham, only the male Kohanim are permitted to eat it. The women are not permitted to eat it. What happens if she marries a Yisrael? Let's say a Bas Kohen marries a Yisrael Levi, she's not permitted to eat Truma any longer. What happens now? She's divorced or widowed, without children. It says she returns to her father's household. For what? For Truma, but not for Chos V'Shok. Although she's reinstated to eat Truma, but to be fully reinstated as she was before she was married, she's not permitted to eat. Okay? We'll see in a moment. Most people don't know that. Okay? Howard, you hear that? The halacha. So Chos V'Shok she cannot eat. Although she's returns without children, she has no children, Truma she's permitted to eat, Chos V'Shok she's not permitted to eat. Okay? If a Bas Kohen marries out, what does it say? V'trumas hakadoshim lo sochal. Although she eats Truma, but Trumas hakadoshim, what does it mean? Trumas hakadoshim? What's removed from the kadoshim? What's removed from the kadoshim? V'mamar b'muram min hakadoshim lo sochal. She's not permitted to eat it. Meaning she's not permitted to eat Chos V'Shok. No, the kochim. The kochim is be'ech is definitely more than Truma. It's not even the question. What?
Why would she even marry out?
A Bas Kohen marries a regular Jew.
If she wouldn't be able to eat from this holy stuff anymore.
I don't get it. There's nothing wrong. She has no obligation to eat. So what? She should only marry a Kohen. So if it's the case, a regular Jewish woman should marry a Kohen only. Then she'll have this chus. I mean, your question, right? No. No. Okay, further. Now, we're bringing proofs. Who came up with Ezra? Another segment of the population were Geri v'Charuri, converts and emancipated slaves. Minolan, where do we know that grouping also came up with Ezra? Omer Rav Chizda, Domar Krov, Chalan Nivdol, Mitumas, Goyi Haaretz, Aleim. Those who were separated from the contamination of the Goyi Haaretz, meaning they were non-Jews, and they converted. Right? They were nivdal. They were separated. Now, how does a non-Jew separate himself from his previous status? That's conversion. Converted. Mamzeri. What about mamzerim? Where do you see that? The classification of mamzerim, illegitimate Jews came up. T'chsiv. Vayishma Sanbalit Hachironi V'tuvyo Eved Harmoni. Okay, these people were not Jews. Uchsiv ki rabim bihuda bali shua lo ki chosedhu l'shchanyo ben aroch yochonon beno lokach es bes misholom ben brachyo. I mean, these people were not Jews. Either they were slaves or not Jews, and these people took sons-in-law because of their status who weren't Jewish, and they allowed their daughters to marry them. So therefore, if the non-Jew or the slave marries a Jewish woman, what is the child? We'll see, the Gemara discusses. So the Gemara wants to draw from this that they're mamzerim. So that since there's such an, we don't rule this way, there's such an opinion that if a non-Jew fathers a child from a Jewish woman, the child is a mamzer. Because since it's a marriage, it's similar to what? To adultery and incest. Just as adultery and incest, since it's not possible to have a marriage, so therefore the marriage is not a marriage. Therefore the child's a mamzer. Identically, the non-Jew or the Eved, where under no circumstance could that man marry this woman. So what is the end product if she conceives? It's a mamzer. We don't rule this way. Simra says, good. So that would be a basis. But the way we rule that the child is a legitimate Jew, so how do we know that when Ezra had come, he had brought with him this segment of illegitimacy from Bavel? That's firstly. Secondly, Mimai Davle Bone. Although they married these women, who said they ever had children from them? Where do we see there were children? they marry non-Jews, even if you're of the opinion that if there's a child, the child's a mamzer, but who said they actually they conceived from these non-Jews? Duma lo havale boni. Maybe they never had children from them. V'su thirdly, mimai do chavalu usliku. Maybe these marriages took place. What happened after the Churban Bayis? We went to Bavel. There was a certain there was a segment of the community that remained in Eretz Yisrael. This was the story with Gedalia ben Achikam. Gedalia ben Achikam was appointed to be the Jewish governor over the small group that remained in Eretz Yisrael. He was murdered, right? We have some Gedalia because of this. Because when he was killed, that community was also exiled. So maybe it happened during Gedalia ben Achikam's time, after the Churban Abayis, when most Jews went to Bavel, but these people, they never went to Bavel. So even if you're of the opinion that Mamzerim, but this segment of the legitimacy was never in Bavel. So how do we cite this pasuk as a basis that Ezra had brought them from Bavel? Maybe they never came to Bavel, because their children were born in Eretz Yisrael. Dilma Hosam Havu. Maybe they remained there. They never came to Bavel. So we have three questions. Firstly, according to the opinion that a non-Jew or an Eved fathers a child from a Jewish woman, maybe the child is legitimate. Secondly, even if you say he's a mamzer, but maybe they never had children. Thirdly, maybe they were born in Eretz Yisrael, they never came to Bavel. So therefore, the pasuk which is cited by the Gemara is not a basis. Ela mihocho, ve'elu ha'olem mitel melach. These are those who ascended from a location called Tel Melach, Tel Charsho, Kruv Odon V'imer. Okay, they ascended from these various locations. V'lo yochlu l'hagid beis avosam v'zarom, and they were not able to identify the paternal line. These people, who fathered them? V'zarom im Yisrael heim, if they're Jews. What was the parentage from the paternal side? Tel Melech. What is Tel Melech? Tel means a mound of salt. Now, what originally was a thriving community, a fertile plain, and it was turned into a mound of salt. That's Sodom, right? It became a Tel Melech, a mound of salt. Elu b'nei Odom shedomin maseim l'masa Sodom. People who they conduct themselves, they behave similar to Sodom. What was Sodom? So Rashi says in Sodom, what was the law in Sodom? If a woman was pregnant and a man deliberately or inadvertently injures her, and causes her to miscarry. So they would rule in Sodom that the man who injured her, caused the woman to miscarry, he has to take her and he has to impregnate her to restore the children that he actually took away from the man. That was the law in Sodom. So what is that? It's adultery. So the people who came from Bavel, their behavior was similar to Tel Melech. The way in Sodom people behaved. So for Goyim, there's no illegitimacy regarding a non-Jew. But the Jews are similar. If a Jew behaves in that manner, that means he fathers a child from someone else's wife. It's a mamzer. Tel Charsho. What is Tel Charsho? In Hebrew, the word cherish means person's deaf, mute, silence. So shkora abba v'imo, abo, it's when the child refers to somebody as father, v'imo mishas koso, and the mother silences him. Meaning, silence him. V'lo yochel hagid beis avosam v'zaram, they were not able to identify the paternal line or their pedigree at all. Im Yisrael heim, whether the Jews altogether, whether they're Jewish. Ze asufi shenesaf min ashuk. This is the child that's found on a doorstep. You just bring him in. You don't know what his parentage is. Not the mother, not the father. You're not sure what it is. Kruv odon v'imar. What is kruv? Kruv means a cherub. The cherubs are called kruvim, right? Kruv. Odon v'imar. Omer abavo. Omer odon. Odon. Hashem had said, Ani omarti Yisrael lefonai chashuvim kekruv. I value and esteem my children that they should be as holy as the cherubs in the Beis Hamikdash. Ve'im somo atzman kenomir. He interprets the word imar, like, no, what's a leopard? So Rashi says the leopard, I'm not sure, maybe it's limited to that species, that it doesn't recognize the whole concept of mating. It goes and takes someone else, another animal's mate. So therefore, it impregnates another animal's mate. So similarly, they behaved like the leopard. I wanted to be as holy as the cherubs, as kruvim, pure and holy, but they acted similar to the leopard, which means they would take one another's wives. Igadi Amri, Omer Rabavo, Omer Odon. Hashem, the master, said, Alpishe, Somo Atzme Kinomer. Even though they behaved inappropriately like the leopard, Hem Chashuv Lefone Kikruv. Nevertheless, I still esteem them, that my children, I still see them as the kruv. It's a little difficult. The second one is difficult. I mean, if they're in violation of adultery and incest, or whatever it is, how could Hashem says, I still value them like the kruv? How's it possible? Do you have a footnote on that? In the Art Scroll. The second. Yeah, but there's this serious misbehavior. It's illegitimacy. And especially, you can't even purify yourself unless, like we had earlier, how do you purify yourself? A person's a mamzer. He has to marry Shifcha Kananis, right? And we rule like Reb Tarfon. It's permitted. He marries Shifcha Kananis, then the master emancipates the children. But then they're not his children, right? Biologically, they're his children, but halachically, it's not his child. So how could Hashem say, even in a state of mamzerus, illegitimacy, well, maybe like this. The Gemara, we had the Gemara. The Gemara says in Avodah Zorah that Yikorav Peninim, right? It's supposed to be Mishlei. It's more precious than Peninim. That Mamzer Talmud Chochem, to me, has greater value than the Kohen Gadol Amoretz Shenichnas Lefnai Lefnim. That the Kohen Gadol goes into the inner sanctums on Yom Kippur of the Beis Hamikdash. The Mamzer Talmud Chochem has greater value because he's Talmud Chochem, but he's illegitimate. Doesn't make a difference. So it could be that's it. Even in a state of illegitimacy, the Jew is able to rise to a level of holiness. If he studies Torah, he even has greater status than the Kohen Gadol of pedigree who doesn't have Torah, who's qualified to go into the inner sanctums. I mean, what? No, what? No, but that's what I'm saying. In that context, otherwise, what's the value? It has to be in a certain value. I mean, if we're sinners, here we're talking about the end product. We're talking about the illegitimate person. We're not talking about the one who actually violates. Even though it seems to be it's the ones who are committing the adultery. They're behaving like the leopards. Nevertheless, I esteem them as if they would be cherubs. Unless you said he did tshuva. He did tshuva. Without tshuva, how could you value them as a cherub? Huh? No, we're talking about illegitimacy, mamzer. We're bringing this as a pasuk that mamzerim came with Ezra from Bavel. These people produced mamzerim. The Gemara says, the Mishnah says in Chagiga, it's a pasuk in Mishlei. What's uvis luyuchal iskom? It's an iniquity that cannot be corrected. What's an iniquity cannot be corrected? A man fathers a child from another woman or from an incestual relationship, and a mamzer is born. That iniquity can never be corrected. If he commits adultery or whatever, no, there's no child, person will do tshuva. And undergo whatever. A child is born, it's disastrous. Because that child, there's a product of that relationship. That person can never be atoned. Can never be atoned. Because there's always a representation of that illegitimacy. Okay? Omer Rabbi Chana, that's a little bit of, I got it here. Omer Rabbi Chana, yeah. A person marries a woman, even though enu genes means inappropriate, means Rashi says a woman who's not legitimate, not appropriate within the context of halacha. Kohen marries a chalola. Chalola. Okay? Malo v'kosef kilu chorshu kol olam kulu v'zor melach. You know, the Romans, after one of the things that happened on Tisha B'Av, says they plowed under Yerushalayim and they salted the earth. Of course, if you plow it, put salt, that means there's no hope. Nothing will ever grow from there. The person who marries a woman who's inappropriate and is going to produce progeny which is not kosher children, it's like he plowed the world and he salted it. Shenemar, ve'elu ha'olim mitel melech tel charsha, from lachrosh, right? In Hebrew, the word lachrosh means to plow. Tel melech tel charsha. It's the mound of salt and the mound that was plowed. Omar Rabba bar Avrado, Omar Rav Kolanose. This is quoting Rav Kolanose. Isho l'shum momo. Havin leibonim shenim hugonim. Person who marries a woman for the sake of money. That's what they call a merger. Right? For the sake of money. What? Yeah, now the question is, does it mean that he married a woman that was inappropriate for the sake of money? That the money was the overriding factor, but it's not a permitted marriage. That seems to be the way Rashi's learning here too. Because the pasuk it cites, they betrayed God, kibonim zorim yolodu, and they actually gave birth to estranged children. Why are they estranged? V'shem atoma momon polat. Maybe you'd say, even though the person violated, maybe at least minimally he has the money, which is retained. Tamulom atu yochlim chodesh. The money is going to be consumed. Es chelkeim. Pasuk in Hosea. V'shem atoma chelko v'lo chelko. Maybe it's his. The money he brought into the marriage will be lost, but her money, he married into wealth. Maybe that money will be retained. Tamulom chelkeim. All the money will be gone. V'shem atoma lismam ruba. Say, it's worthwhile, but it'll last over an extended period of time. Tamalum chodesh. Chodesh in a month. That means, doesn't mean literally, it means very quickly the money's going to be lost. My mashma. Omer Rav Yitzchok, Omer Rav Nachman Yitzchok, chodesh nichnas, chodesh yotza. Mamonim. The money ovad. Mamonim ovad, the marriage begins, a month, the money's there, then the money's gone. Omer Rabba bar Ravado, Barmilo Omer Rav Salo, Omer Rav Hamnuno, Kolanesi Isha Shenu Geneslo. Man marries, has an illegitimate, it's not an appropriate relationship, it's not a permitted marriage. Elio Koso. Now what does it mean Elio? Binds him. What does it mean binds him? So Rashi says, the Mishnah says in Malkos, when they would give a person Malkos, they put him in a leaning position, like on a post, and they would tie his hands, both hands, to the post. And then they would whip him. They would whip him with a leather whip. Okay? Elio binds his hands, V'akorish Baruch Hu rotzo, from the word ritzua. Ritzua means a strap, a leather strap. He's whipped with the strap. V'tona al kulam, Elio v'tona al kulam, Elio kosev, V'akorish Baruch Hu chosev. And it would be recorded, and Hashem signs on what's being recorded, Oilo lepos lazaro, lepogim es mishpachto. Woe to the one who actually produces illegitimate seed, and he actually brings a blotch upon his family. Ulanosi sheshenu geneslo elio kopso kachvarosa v'cholposa po. Oh, now that's it. Aleph takes that out. Cholaposa posu. Now you have people. They claim everybody, and they refer to people as being illegitimate. They claim kolaposa posel. Kolaposa posel. If a person invalidates others, that's an indication of who he is, that he himself has illegitimacy. Ve'eno medaber v'shvachol olam. And he doesn't speak about the praise. He's always negative, down on people. He's referring to people. This one is that. This one is a thief. This one is illegitimate. He doesn't speak in a praiseworthy context about people. Okay? So what is that indication? That he himself has that impurity, or he has that failing. Whenever he speaks about others' deficiencies, he possesses that same deficiency, that same blemish. Who Gavra, what? We'll see. The Gemara's going to cite things. Well, But we'll see. The Gemara's going to cite certain things. I don't know if it's 100%, but it's pretty much, there's a problem. Who gathered him in the Nerdor? This person was a member of the Nerdor community. The Olabe mitavchio bepupadiso. He came to the butcher shop where they sold meat in Pumbediso. He came from Nerdor, he came to Pumbediso. Omalu hovuli bisro. And he says, I want to cut a meat. I want to purchase meat. Omar le natara de shokol l'shami de Rav Yehuda bar Yecheskel. You have to wait. The agent, the shamus of Rav Yehuda bar Yecheskel is here. And we have to first serve him. He's the rabbi shamus. When he gets his meat, then we'll serve you. V'nesev loch. After we serve him, we'll serve you. Howard. Okay? No dose. No dose. Advertisement, no dose. Okay? V'nesev loch. So this person takes it personal. He says you have to wait for your cut of meat. We have to first serve the rabbi's attendant, then we'll serve you. Oma man Yehuda bar Shviskel. The Kodem Li, the Shokel min Kamoy. He says his name was Yehuda. This is Rav Yehuda bar Yecheskel. He says, who's Rav Yehuda bar Yecheskel? But instead of saying Yecheskel, it says Shviskel. So Rashi says, what Shviskel? It's a denigrating term. Who's this Yehuda? This one who is a glutton who eats broiled meat. That's how we refer to Yehuda, Rav Yehuda. Shviskel. The Kodmli, the Shokum, Kamoy, also Amalei Rav Yehuda. So they went and they informed Rav Yehuda what the man had said. That he referred to him, we're talking about he was one of the Gedolei Ador. That he referred to him as Rav Yehuda bar Shviskel rather than Yecheskel. Shamte. So he put him into Chayrim. He put this man into Chayrim. Omru, Rogel the Kori Inchi Avdi. He says, this man, as he referred to him as Shviskel, as a glutton who eats broiled meat, he refers to people as slaves. He's actually disqualifying everybody. He claims everybody's illegitimate. That's his claim. Achras le davdahu. Hear this? So Rav Yehuda gave out a proclamation, announcement, that this man himself is an Eved. He's not a Jew, he's a slave. Because if he's referring to, because we call apostle, Gemuvim posel, one who actually disqualifies others, in that context, he possesses that same disqualification. Kol apostle Mumum posel. You know, there was a story recently, the Orach Chaim HaKodesh's Yortzeit was just a week ago, 2 weeks ago. So there's a story, and it was brought down, famous story, on he had to go into Golus for a year. What was the story? The Orach Chaim HaKodesh was serving meat, was selling meat. Well, he used to give meat Erev Shabbos to Talmidei Chachamim. And this wealthy Jew in his town in Morocco comes, and he wants to purchase meat. He says, I'm sorry, the meat is not available. First, I have to give the meat to the poor Talmidei Chachamim for Shabbos. And if there's left over, I'll sell you a portion of meat. Man becomes incensed. He says, these beggars. And he spoke very pejoratively about Talmidei Chachamim. And the Orach Chaim remained silent. So the Orach Chaim HaKodesh had a dream that how does he have a right to remain silent? Here, Talmidei Chachamim are castigated, spoken about disrespectfully. He should have responded to defend, and he should have reprimanded this man for speaking this way. So because he did not, it was decreed he has to go into Golus. And he went to Golus till a certain incident happened, but it was, again, if a man speaks this way about him, how do you remain silent? So over here, when Rav Yehuda had found out that he referred to him as Rav Yehuda bar Shviskel rather than Yecheskel, which was a disgrace, he put him in Chayrim immediately. He has to be put into his place. There's a story with it's Gemara in Sochas HaPolim that one of the Tatoim, he had dreamt about after he passed away, when he was a worm ate through his ear, and when his family saw it, they had chalish zadas. They were taken aback. Why did the worm go through his ear? So he came to his family in a dream and said, "Don't be upset by it," because he once heard somebody say something critically about a Talmud Chacham, and he listened to it and he didn't respond. Therefore, this was the punishment. That's why the worm was able to eat through his ear. Okay, it's Gemara Bava Metzia. Famous story with Reb Shmuel Salant. This is in the late 1800s. Reb Shmuel Salant was the Rav of Yerushalayim. And they were very poor, the community. And a wealthy man had come from Europe to see the community, to be one of the supporters of the community. And Reb Shmuel Salant was in the middle of speaking and learning with one of the Talmidei Chachamim, a young man who literally was malnourished, wore threadbare clothing, and this rich man had to wait. And this man wasn't used to waiting because of his wealth. And he's waiting and waiting. He becomes incensed, so he can't criticize Reb Shmuel Salant. He laces into this Evrech, this young Talmid Chacham, says, "You're nothing, you beggar," and he goes and disgraces him, because here, where does he have a right to hold him up? He should have left and allowed him to have the time. And when he did this, Reb Shmuel Salant became incensed. He says to the man, he says, "Where do you have a right to say this? You can take your money, go back to Europe, we don't want to see you. We don't want you, we don't want your money." And he really reprimanded him, that you can't understand how he reprimanded him. And he left in disgrace. And then afterwards, when he thought over what happened, he realized that he was in the wrong. This wealthy man, and he came back, he apologized, he asked Mechila, and so on and so forth. But again, and that's what happened over here, Shamtek. And when he heard that he refers to people as avodim, as slaves, Achri Zolei Davdu. Listen what happened. This man is not taking it lying down. Ozel Ahu, so this individual who was called a slave by Rav Yehuda ben Yecheskel, Azbnei Ledin Lekami de Rav Nachman. He summed him to a din Torah. He sent him a subpoena, Hazmana Ledin, that he has to come to a din Torah. And Rav Nachman was the Dayan. We'll see him. Rav Yehuda was greater than Rav Nachman. Now, if a person is summoned to a din Torah, and the person being summoned is greater than the Dayan, does he have an obligation to go? Sinimo, he has no obligation to go. Because, of course, if he ruled this way and he's greater, there's no basis for a subpoena. What are you subpoenaing me to court? Right? I see Pitko Dasmona. So the summons came. The subpoena came, summoning Rav Yehuda bar Yecheskel that he has to come to court. Also, Rav Yehuda l'kami to Rav Huna. So Rav Yehuda, before he went to consult with Rav Yehuda. With Rav Huna, does he have to go? Omalei, Ezel or lo Ezel? Should I go? Should I heed the summons, or should I not heed the summons? To go to court. It's not so simple, this whole story here. Omalei Mezel. Lumi Boloch. Halachically, you have no obligation to go. Rav Nachman is the presiding judge. He's the presiding judge. Omalei Mezel Boloch Mezel. Why? Mishum de Gaver Rabbo at. Because you're a Gaver Rabbo. So Rashi says, Gaver Rabbo, because you're greater than he is. And because in Torah you're greater than he is, you have no obligation to go there. El Mishum Yikra de Beinasiyah. But Rav Nachman, because he's the son-in-law of the Nasi, out of respect for the Nasi, you should go. So halachically, you're not obligated to go. Kumzil. So Rashi says, Lo loch lemezel, lefnei Rav Nachman, you have no obligation to go before Rav Nachman. Shato godel mimeno, you're greater than he is in Torah. Vato rosh bepumpedisa, you're a Rosh Yeshiva in Pumpedisa, that was the community. Rav Nachman rosh ben Erdo, he's a Rosh Yeshiva in Erdo, two communities. V'dayon lerosh galuso, v'chasni ben Nisio. B'shem Rav Nachman chasni ben Nisio, mezalzel b'shmaitz Rav Yochanan. Rav Nachman, because he was the son-in-law of the ben Nisio, he didn't give proper respect to the ruling of Rav Nachman, of Rav Yochanan. So he says, go. So listen what happens. So he's going purely, but he felt Rav Nachman had no right to summon him. But he says, because he's the son-in-law of the Bein Nesiyah, you should go. So he goes. But he's going to teach Rav Nachman a lesson. He should understand that his behavior is unacceptable, that he had no right to summon him. Ozel Ashkeche, the Kovid Makeh. He comes and he finds him putting up a parapet on his roof. Omalei Losavamar Lohod Yomraf Huna Baridi Yom Shmuel. He says, you don't follow the ruling of Rav Huna Baridi, who said name is Shmuel. Kevish Isman Odom Parnis Al Tzibor. If a person is appointed to be an administrator over the community, You're not permitted to do mundane work. We'll see here, even though it's a mitzvah in the presence of 3 people. So putting up the roof, the parapet, in a public setting, it's not becoming a person of your stature. So you reject that? I mean, you have to understand why not. The answer is because people don't understand. Since you could do it through an agent, and we say shluch sham kamoso, therefore you shouldn't do it yourself because it's not going to be understood. People say, the rabbi is, he's a mason or he's a carpenter, even though it's a mitzvah. Because the mitzvah could be delegated. This mitzvah could be delegated. Is it in shlichus? When it says bifnei shlosha, presence of 3, they weren't aware of it. I mean, Avram was not aware. When Avram says vayashkem, when he rose, nobody was there. Okay, it was not in a public setting. If you're building something on a roof, first of all, being on a rooftop, it's something obvious, right? Everybody sees. But this is an overriding factor. No, when he was ready to go, he summoned Eliezer and Yishmael. Right? Firstly, so what about Yosef? Okay, so what would you say? What happened when Yosef went to greet his father? It says there were only 2 people in the history of the world who were honored. An honor that was one of a kind of an honor. It was Yaakov, and it was Yisro. Because when Yosef, the viceroy, went out to greet his father, the royalty and the masses came out. So millions of people went out to greet Yaakov. Why? Because if Yosef, the viceroy, goes to greet Yaakov, so all the ministers, and if ministers go, the commoners go. So all Egypt went out to greet Yaakov. So again, so that confirmed that Yaakov is not an ordinary person. Because otherwise, why should Yosef greet this man? Evidently, he's a man who's worthy of that respect. Doing a mundane act, building a parapet on a roof, a fence on a roof, we're talking about that's mundane. That's ordinary work. It's inappropriate. Why don't you get yourself a craftsman to do it? Here he's greeting his father. He's hitching his chariot to go out to greet his father. So evidently that tells you who the father is as a human being. But a mundane act, putting up just a roof, a fence on a roof, anybody could put that up. I know, so then you have to understand the value of mitzvah. No, so therefore people don't understand it. People don't understand it. A sukkah would be the same thing. Building sukkah would be the same thing.